Hi, I'm Marsha, and this is my 2023 vinyl tag video. I have a list of 20 questions that's prepared by Rob Walker, box of records, and some other things here. So let's get started. First question is favorite release of 2022. The Flawless Miss Drake. Stereophonics Bass Sound Unlimited. I initially got this because the artwork is fantastic, but the music is really good too. It's loungy, electronic, surf music. And you know, when I have a bad day at work, lyrics can be a lot. I don't want to have to think. I just want to listen to a great groove, and this delivers. Next question. Last band or artist you saw live? The last artist I saw live was Colin Hay. And unfortunately, I don't have any music by him. I have torn my condo up looking for some CDs of his, and I can't find them. So I will show you an album from the artist I saw before him, and that was right before the pandemic shut everything down. Trixie Mattel, drag queen extraordinaire, the skinny legend. In addition to being a comedy queen, she is a musician. She writes her own music. She plays the guitar. She even plays the harpsichord. She is a really great entertainer, and if she is coming to your town, pick up tickets. You will both laugh and clap your hands to what she's doing musically. She's really great. Their first album was their best, Crosby, Stills and Nash. And if you want to argue that this was the second album with the addition of Young, I would say you're wrong. But no matter what iteration, whether it be with the Young or without the Young, each one of these are the best of the first that they did. Everything else was just mediocre. Show a hat trick, vinyl, CD, or cassette. I don't have any cassettes. I'm a person who's moved a lot, so I got rid of those a long time ago. But I can show you a 2-disc special edition 20th anniversary of Purple Rain. And this includes 8 videos and footage from an MTV after party. I think we can all agree this is some of the best music ever put out in all of the world. This movie, wrong side, this movie, not so much. The movie's terrible. The dialogue is horrendous, and the acting, oh, it's even worse. So I skip past all the scenes, you know, even the bathe yourself in Lake Minnetonka. I mean, the kid, that's his name, the kid's an asshole. He manipulates this woman to undress and jump in a lake, and then he takes off on his motorcycle and leaves her there. Not cool. Not cool at all. So I skip through those scenes and just watch the performances because there's no denying the magnitude of phenomenal goodness that takes place during those performances. Oh, and here's the CD cover to prove that I have a hat trick, and I keep showing the back of this DVD. Next song, album that starts and ends with the same letter. Josie Cotton, Convertible Music. Born in the Same Year as You. I have to go back to my CD collection for this. This fabulous, flawless woman, Mary J. Blige, and myself, we were both born in 1971. Most listened to album of 2022. It is the Everly Brothers. Songs Our Daddy Taught Us, and I'll turn it around so you can see the title better. And this is actually another title that starts and ends with the same letter. But I don't think I need to tell anybody. They sing really, really good. This album is incredible. They are 21 and 19 years old when they recorded this. It is just their voices, Phil and Don, acoustic guitars, and a stand-up bass, and a handful of traditional Appalachian songs, and they do it beautifully. You will be left a little melancholy after you listen to this, because there's a lot of sadness and a lot of death on this, but you will also hear the beauty of these two guys. I mean, I got this in the spring, and it stayed on my turntable for a good 3 months, and I streamed it probably 1,000 times at work. It starts off with The Roving Gambler, which is a great opening track, and you know, the Everly Brothers are probably my most favorite artists of all time. because without them, there'd be no Beatles. They inspired all the groups I love. You know, Keith Richards has said, like, Don, man, that cat, I can not do the accent, but man, that cat could really play. And Neil Young has said, every band I have ever been in has tried to sound like the Everly Brothers, and we failed miserably. I can't get enough of the Everly Brothers. But they are not my most listened to artist of 2022, which is the next question. It is Aretha Franklin. If you were to ask me who my most listened to artist of any year is, I'd probably have to say Aretha Franklin. Australian band or artist, Crowded House. Now, Neil Finn right here, I understand he is from New Zealand, but the other two gentlemen are from Australia. And based on my research, Wikipedia, which is always right, they were formed in Melbourne, Australia in 1985. So that makes this an Australian band. And I'm really good at math. So 2/3 is greater than 1/3. And, you know, nobody's sitting around saying that the band isn't from Canada. Everybody agrees the band is a Canadian band. Nobody ever raises their hand and says, but Levon Helm is from Arkansas, so they're not a Canadian band. Again, I'm really good at math, and I understand that 1/5 is smaller than 1/3. But I think we can all agree this is an Australian band. If Neil Finn wants to contact me and correct me, I would be glad to talk to him. Because I would just tell him how fantastically wonderful this album is and has one of the best closing tracks I have ever heard in my life, Better Be Home Soon. Surprising purchase of 2022. So there's a story that goes along with this one. Last month, I signed up for Whatnot, and because I have the attention span of a fruit fly who has eaten 2 pieces of cake, I wasn't paying attention to the live stream. I was listening to records or watching, you know, VC videos on YouTube. But I did notice my battery on my phone was going down, so I went to go plug it in, and through all the kerfuffle of turning around and trying to plug it in, the heel of my hand hit my phone, and I placed a bid on an album, and I was the winner of that auction. And I am now the proud owner of a 12-inch single of Eddie Murphy's Put Your Mouth on Me. And by me, he means, you know, pinky toe. And you could tell he's talking about pinky toe because there's a lot of groaning and moaning and heavy breathing to start the record off. He's trying to be Prince, and he's not doing a very good job of it because he doesn't have any of the sensuality or magic or charisma of Prince. He's not a bad singer. This isn't the worst song I've ever heard, but it's a stupid song. There's a lot of bad 80s production, a lot of horns. And this isn't parody. You would think with this title, it would be right for parody. He missed that opportunity. This was released in 1989, so it was released on the heels of Coming to America. You know, his star was very bright. And this song could do with some samples of Sexual Chocolate. That would take this song to the next level, but no. Band or artist you're complete on. So I don't have any artist that I'm complete on vinyl, except for one. It is this album, The Black Bells. It's their only studio album. I have a ton of completed artists on CD. Simon & Garfunkel, Led Zeppelin, Beck, Soundgarden. But this is the only artist that I'm complete on vinyl. It's probably a cheat, but their one studio album is a complete collection. I really do like this record. It was put out by Third Man Records, and I believe one of these ladies is now married to Jack White. But again, I'm sorry for cheating. A great run of 3 albums. So he's kind of a jerk these days, but he's still a wonderful musician, and he has put out some of my most favorite songs ever. It's Van Morrison, Moondance, Van Morrison, his band, and the Street Choir, Tupelo Honey. I can overlook the COVID nonsense because I just love his music so much. We can even add a 4th. because I wasn't real sure if I wanted to include Moondance or not. Moondance is just an incredible album, but St. Dominic's Preview is also, I think, underrated. 80s soundtrack. So I was a suburban teenager in the 80s who went to a public high school. I would be betraying my roots if I showed anything but a John Hughes soundtrack. We lost them in 2022. Loretta Lynn, it's what I'm listening to in the background. This is her penultimate album, and it's just delightfully charming. I'm a little bit confused on the timeline here. This is a collection of songs that was recorded between 2007 and 2017. But if you had told me this was recorded in 1978, I would believe you, because her voice in her mid to late 70s to mid to late 80s is just as sweet as it has ever been. I fell in love with her when I was a kid and saw her on the Muppets performing One's on the Way, and there were all these little tiny Muppet babies surrounding her, just clamoring for her attention, and she's all stressed out, and she was adorable, and she's a treasure, and I'm happy to know she lived a long life, and I'm happy to know that she left a lot of music for all of us to enjoy in her absence. She will truly be missed. Disappointing purchase in 2022. The Moby Grape debut album, and it's a condition issue. It has nothing to do with the material. You know, there's tape on the corners here, and the cover's not in great shape, and the vinyl is even worse. It's scratched up and it skips a lot. And when I ordered it from Discogs, should have known better, they really overestimated the condition and kind of got taken. Lesson learned. Non-vinyl purchase. Booze and Vinyl 2. This is the follow-up to Booze and Vinyl, as you could probably guess by the inclusion of the number 2 on the cover. This book takes albums and makes drink recommendations for you. So, for example, Portishead Dummy. Side A, Sour Time. Side B, Glory Box. This is just a good time to waste a Friday, Saturday night. Get your friends together, have a listening party. I will warn you, a lot of these recipes do require absinthe. And if you are a lightweight drinker like myself, you're not going to remember anything in the morning, but more than likely you will have had a fantastic night. You found a grail. I'm not really into grails, but I suppose you could say this one was a grail. This is a 1968 press, and I found this at a local record store here where I live, and I didn't even know I wanted it till I saw it because they were selling it for an incredible price. I've only ever seen recent represses of this, never seen an original, and when I saw it, I did think to myself, oh, I want that real bad. And I beat out all the 30-something millennial hipsters that got my hands on it. So I'm real happy that I got this. It sounds great, and the condition of the album cover is pretty good as well. Space-themed album, sleeve or song. Funkadelic, One Nation Under a Groove. This is a gatefold. I'm not going to open it because there is a cartoon of a bare-breasted woman, and I'm not sure how YouTube will handle that. But when you open it, there's a story inside, and it starts off with The Funk Wars, 1984 BC. I'm assuming BC is before Clinton. Once upon a time, in a faraway universe, existed an intergalactic humbug between good and evil. And then it goes on and on and on. So this is my space theme album. As well, you can see they've got Planet Earth here, and some of these characters on this cover are wearing space helmets. Show VCLT or a present. This is only my second video, so I have not established any kind of relationship to get any kind of VCLT with any Vinyl community members. As well, anybody who knows me knows not to get me music because it's just going to be an abject failure. So all of this, I guess you could say, is just presents to myself. I show an album released in 1973. Mott, by Mott the Hoople. Lots of hair, lots of tight pants. How much more 1973 can you get than that? Anyways, that is my Vinyl Tag 2023 video. Thank you so much for watching.